What about you're just using English in the last couple of weeks? Like, you know, don't worry about homework or any of that right now. Just your experience of English in the last few weeks. What's it been like?
Um, yeah, first maybe I should say that I'm feeling more comfortable. So this is the
Okay.
good thing for me because um, I was a little bit shy in terms of interrupting someone and starting to conversation related to any topic. So just it was not very easy for me, and um, I'm thinking English right now while listening the conversation, not trying to find the best wording to prepare my sentence before starting the conversation. So this is very, how I can say that, tiring, you know.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm feeling more comfortable. I can express myself easier than before. So that's why I'm, yeah, fully comfortable, and I can um not interrupt, but I can bring myself to the conversation with senior stakeholders as well. So this is very critical while working with my peers. Not very um, um, um how I can say that, not very tough situation, but
Not as big a challenge.
especially yeah, not big
Yeah.
challenge, but in front of senior stakeholders. Um, so entering the conversation, opening a new discussion topic or anything, so uh, might be tricky than the peers compared to the having conversation with the peers. So that's why I'm feeling more comfortable. So this is the good thing that
Great.
I wanted to have, by the way, with this program, because yeah, I can understand while speaking someone, so I can understand, I can catch the message and so on. So, but how I can be a shy, having this conversation, trying to get the message from this conversation, so I can do this better than
Hmm.
before. So this is the good
That's
thing. So
excellent.
that's
That's great. What do you feel like were the biggest changes for you? What that made that possible? Because it's only been 6 weeks, and a lot of
yes.
people don't think this kind of change can happen in a short time. So how did
No,
that
no.
happen?
Firstly, after your sessions, my awareness um, has increased. For what? For example, the language. I was thinking that learning a language is a very structured thing. Now I'm not thinking like that, because hearing and trying to repeat the wording and hearing, having this awareness in terms of sound, in terms of items and so on. So I'm fully open while speaking someone or listening a conversation in the meeting. So I'm just trying to listen, really
Yeah.
listen, not finding the mistake or trying to find the wording that I don't know. So my perspective um, to learning a new language totally change.
Mm,
It's not just learning grammar, more than this. So having this conversation, hearing the sounds, so trying to understand the main message of the conversation, so on. So yeah,
mhm, mhm,
um, my mindset totally different right now
mhm. Tell me
for the
more.
learning language.
Yeah, tell me more about your mindset specifically, like your attitude,
Um,
mentality.
um, for my speaking, for my own speaking, I was trying to find the best wording to express the statement that I would like to say.
Mhm,
Now, not like that. So I'm thinking just the message, what I want to provide um, to to someone.
yeah,
So I'm just focusing on the message
yeah.
while speaking. So this is the mindset shift. So I was
Mhm,
trying to find the best suitable, best correct wording to build the sentence. Now, not
Yeah.
like that. So just
Yeah.
trying to give the message to the people in front of me.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I'm trying to listen the speaker like a song right now
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
catch
Go
these
on.
rhythms. So not just yeah, I'm focusing on the message and I'm just listening the speaker like a song. So try to get these sounds from him or her
Yeah.
because then maybe I can repeat it while speaking.
Hmm.
So yeah, and
Hmm.
you can learn the items, for example, easier than with these methods. By the way, for
Yeah.
example, not just translating a Turkish word to English.
Right.
There are some items that you, for example, I would like to use more items to in the conversations. They are doing these type of things, but I couldn't understand it very quickly. Now I can get this type of new items, new um, verbal statements. I couldn't
Phrases and
find
things.
the
Yeah.
phrases.
They
Yes,
all connect
like that.
together. And yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. And
yes,
yeah. So your listening is way clearer. You can hear the language much better. You can follow meaning and message much better. So you're more present in the moment and you're not distracted by your own English or if you're making a mistake or not. And because
no,
you're not distracted by those things, because underneath everything you have this mentality now. It's a different way of thinking that failure and mistakes are a positive, constructive part of my experience, and they don't limit me as a person or a professional. And so now using English, it's just a tool or a vehicle to accomplish the work that I'm so valuable for. And now I can show the people around me in my career, like my English is not a distraction for you or me. So here's the thing I have to give to you that's so important or so valuable. It's your expertise. It's who you are. And it can, I love to see when someone makes this shift because it can change everything in their life sometimes. It can help them with their friendships and their relationships. It can open up career because they're not worried about new opportunities anymore.
yes.
Because now I know I can step into those things and it will be a challenge. My English isn't perfect, but that's not the point. Um, so
Maybe,
that's
maybe, maybe you can, maybe you can realize that it's a little bit cultural. Because,
big. Yeah.
for example, Turkish people generally are afraid of making some mistakes. So that's why they don't prefer to speak. They are shy. This is the cultural, by the way. When I speak with different culture, so I can see that. For example, Italian or Spain, so they are not worried about what type of grammar mistake they are doing while speaking. So they are not their how I can say that obstacles.
Yeah.
So for example, for Turkish people, generally they are afraid. They have this complex. I couldn't find the right correct wording for that, but we have some complex,
Hmm.
and we can while speaking. So this is a little bit cultural thing. That's why it's not easy to change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are with
Yeah.
these
Yeah. It's
trainings.
culture is a huge part of it, a huge part. If you remember from the first lesson about the willpower mindset article from the BBC that we read, and they talked about how culture plays a big part into your way of thinking about what you can and you cannot do. And they did
Yeah,
that research between the Japanese students and the American students. The American students gave up trying that impossible math problem. In 5 minutes, they gave up, but the Japanese students didn't give up for an hour and a half. All of our culture stuff, it's so deep and it touches everything. And so
yeah,
when you come from a group oriented culture like where you come from in Turkey, more group oriented compared to the West and the United States and so on. You you have a sense of your behavior, and what you do is a reflection of your identity as a group. And so if you, as an English speaking Istanbulu Turk, you have a
Mhm.
specific kind of cultural expectation for language and expressing yourself and how it represents yourself and your family and your community. And that's a normal, very normal part of language learning for people from all kinds of group oriented places. Because mistakes and public mistakes, think about public mistakes in your culture. What is an acceptable place to make public mistakes? Do you have an acceptable place
Mm,
for that?
no, no, I think.
Not really. Not really. And so then when you go into a career where you really have to be, very good looking in every way.
Perfectionist, yeah. So you don't give any opportunity to someone to bring to your in front of it. So no, how I can say that, I don't know, but um, yeah, we are afraid of giving an opportunity to someone to talk about us. So that's the critical thing we don't like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Street
terrifying.
pressure. We are saying that street pressure
It's
in
terrifying.
Turkish.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. That's a perfect way of saying that. It's my home culture is individualistic, and so my more the way I think and the way that I was raised, the way that most Americans live and think, my behavior represents me as an individual first and then a group. And so,
Mm,
if it makes sense for me, then I'll do it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And you can think of that as like, well, that's a selfish way to live or so on. But there are pros and cons of both individualism and group oriented. There's there's real pros to
yeah.
living in a group oriented culture where I know my family or my friends have my back. Arkadaş is Turkish for the one behind you.
Yes.
Literally in your language, you have that idea built into the concept of a friend. So
Yeah.
in English, in America, of course, we think of friends as important and close, but not the way you do in Turkey. If I become your best friend in Turkey, you call me in the middle of the night and you need $500. I'm not asking you why. I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
I'm coming to
Yeah.
you. And
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
so
can
that
knock your door as well, not calling.
not even
Not just
calling.
calling. Yeah.
Maybe open the door, right?
Yeah.
And just
If I
walk
have
in.
a key, yeah, I can do
Yeah.
this number. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is strange, right? So for the other cultures, for example, yeah. For example, I can see um, these differences when I go to our UK office as well. So, for example, all people are very individual, so they are not trying to some finding some space on their agenda to socialize with their colleagues. So they're just coming to
group
office,
working.
doing their business, and then leaving to office. Yeah, if they are not care who are their tables at the lunch or something. So, but yeah, it's not like for us. Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit strange.
that's monochronic culture. That's the United States. You work at work, you play at home and rest at home or outside of
Mm,
work. But Turkey is a polychronic culture, meaning you can do more than one thing at one time. So like if I come and visit you at work unannounced and I'm just your friend, unrelated to work, you can in a way sort of host me kind of, right? Like there's going to be some tea, there might even be a little bit of food or something and a little bit of time, right? Depending
yes,
on how we can arrange it and negotiate with what you have happening at the moment.
yes.
Um, a lot of the Turkish I learned was from sitting in a shop with a shop owner who's selling shoes.
Yes. This is very usual.
Yeah,
This
just
is
they're
very
just
common.
sitting there, right? They're just sitting there selling shoes, and their day's not going to be 8 hours start and stop like an American in a corporate office. Their day could be 12, 14 hours, but they mix it with order a pizza, go out with your friend, come back, take a break.
Yes.
The culture stuff is culture and language are the same, actually. I mean, there's not really you can't really separate them. Your brain doesn't really separate them, and it's easier. This is all part of the mentality, right? It's all part of the way of thinking. And when you're aware of this larger mentality about your relationship to English, you have more opportunity and confidence and freedom to negotiate for yourself what helps you to do what you need to do in English. So if
Yes.
you recognize in my home culture, there is a tendency to avoid mistakes, then you can kind of negotiate that with yourself in the sense that, okay, but I'm not really in my home culture right now. I'm in an international work culture. And what is the priority in an international work culture? Well, there are acceptable levels of mistakes, right? I mean, language for sure. What's more important? Making that sale that will bring 20 grand to your business, or making a grammar mistake in an email. So when you think, what is my goal in using English at work? It's to get things done. It's to become more productive. So that's why we clarify your listening. So now we can trust that we've done all the technical work we need to do on your ability to hear the sounds of the language, how the sounds connect, and then the rhythm when the language is spoken to you. And so once that's all clarified and open, we also show you the scaffolding stuff so that maybe even if you don't hear it, you can still get the message because you had a scaffold to help you give you the contextual information. And this is
Yes.
that contextual piece is how we train artificial intelligence. It's a very important part of human learning. And so it's not cheating. It's part of it.